Yo, what is going on, Guardians, and welcome back to another Destiny 2 gameplay video. Hey, in this video I wanted to chat about this sidearm, the Breachlight. Now, I am approaching 30,000 kills in Destiny 2 with sidearms, so you could say I've used a few. And this one has rapidly become one of my favorites as a seasoned sidearm wielder in D2. So I want to chat about this weapon. First and foremost, what you need to know about it in terms of where to get it. Just some basic info here real quick, just to get it out of the way. This sidearm can be obtained via either a weapon bounty through the obelisk with the Season of Dawn that is located on the Tangled Shore. Sorry, I had a bit of a brain fart there. You can see this nice little maneuver here to get this double kill. But anyways, using the obelisk at the Tangled Shore, you can activate that obelisk once you unlock it, and then level it up in such a way that you can unlock the weapon bounties, purchase them, and they're usually pretty quick. I mean, 5 to 10 minutes and you can have a new Breachlight, pick up a new bounty, 5 to 10 minutes, get a new Breachlight. Otherwise, you could just link that obelisk up to the sundial and then run the sundial as many times as you care to, and then just pick your rewards at the end of that activity. Personally, I don't enjoy the sundial enough. It's just much easier and better for me personally when I'm farming for these things and other obelisk weapons, just to use the bounties, because they tend to be, if you can luck out, I had one that was just to do super kills to get the gun, and it was literally like 5 super kills. I cast my super one time. I just literally picked up the bounty, walked into a group of ads, popped my super, killed 5, then the bounty was done. It was literally, I picked the bounty up and it was done in less than a minute. So I just find that to be a little bit more, I guess a better option if you're trying to save time. Anyways, moving on. This is the Breachlight. It is a 2-round burst aggressive frame sidearm like the Death by Scorn. And so just coming out of the gate, you might be wondering, okay, well, what makes it different than Death by Scorn? Is it better than a Death by Scorn? Because I've got 12 of those. I've had several of these things drop. So would it even be worthwhile to go get a Breachlight? That is a fair question. Let me just come out the gate and tell you that statistically, Breachlight is worse, just ever so slightly worse in most categories other than handling. In handling, it's a little bit better, I think by like 1 point. So a little bit better handling than Death by Scorn, but in every other area, including aim assist, it's actually a little bit lower. So which begs the question, so why would I ever want one of these over a Death by Scorn? And that's an excellent question. The answer to that is because the perk pool for this weapon is much better. So the perk pool for Breachlight includes some things you can't get on a Death by Scorn. Therefore, a God-rolled Breachlight statistically will surpass a Death by Scorn. Now, that doesn't mean Death by Scorn is not worth your time. If you like Death by Scorn, definitely use it. But if you get a God roll, this thing can actually be better and edge out the Death by Scorn. So I like this one a lot more personally. My roll that you're seeing in the gameplay here, I've actually got a couple of these, but the one in the gameplay that you're witnessing here has Rampage and Outlaw. In addition to that, it also has both accurized and steady rounds. There's a little bit of both in this gameplay. I threw on the counterbalance stock as well, just to help manage the recoil. Mine also has a range masterwork as well. So in terms of what perks you should be chasing, I would highly recommend both steady and accurized rounds in that column would be good options, although I think the stability that you get with steady rounds is probably a little bit better than the range buff you get with accurized rounds, so I might lean that way. By the way, I don't know, somewhere in this gameplay there's me emoting on a guy after I kill him, and you might be thinking, why do you do that? That was really unimpressive. The guy had been bagging, so I just dropped a little emote on him. So it wasn't me being toxic, it was just a, ha, got you back. But anyways, moving on. So in the next perk slot, I would recommend, you got Outlaw, you've got Demolitionist, you've got Threat Detector, you've got Under Pressure. I mean, you've got a number of decent perks to choose from. It really does depend on your build. I've got a couple of sidearms that I have, for example, I've got like 3 Lonesomes I use, and which one I use depends on the build I'm running. Because I've got one's a Demolitionist roll that I use with my grenade builds. The other one's just more of a solid neutral game roll that's got Zen Moment and Kill Clip. And the same thing goes with Breachlight. It depends on which build you're using. You might be looking for a Demolitionist sidearm for all I know. Otherwise, you might be looking for a PvE oriented one with Outlaw and Rampage, or maybe you just want to shut down supers and get Vorpal round, you can get a Vorpal weapon roll as well on this thing. I don't personally like Vorpal for PvP because I'm not really using my sidearm too much as a super shutdown. Normally I'm relying on the sniper for that, but again, it just comes down to what build you're using. In the final slot, you've got Rampage, you've got Quick Draw. Those would be the top two options for me. Some people might go for Vorpal. I don't. I think that Quick Draw and Rampage are your best options. Quick Draw is never a bad option on a sidearm. It's so good just to be able to whip that thing out. Whoop, got it. So I think that, in my opinion, that would be much better than a Vorpal option. Get yourself some Quick Draw or a Rampage on it for sure. Lastly, pairings. I tend to pair, since this is a kinetic, you've got a lot of energy weapons to choose from. I would go personally with either a Beloved or an Omniscient Eye, a good energy sniper rifle that you're comfortable with. Otherwise, having something like a pulse rifle is also a good option. You could use a Horror's Least. You know, God Roll Horror's Least would be a great call. But you could even use, if you want, I mean, you know, I'm not going to judge you for it. You could use a Not Forgotten, something that's got a little bit more range or some more reach. Personally, I go with more long arms like snipers or pulses when I'm using a kinetic sidearm, but that's just me. So, well, there it is, guys. I highly recommend you get a Breachlight, farm a good roll. It can be a really solid sidearm, and I've had a whole lot of fun running it. I've racked up hundreds of kills with this thing so far. And I do not regret taking the time. And it honestly didn't take too long to get a good roll. I might even go back in and try and farm a Quick Draw and Demolitionist roll as well for my grenade builds. But yeah, well, I hope that you enjoyed the gameplay. Just as a heads up, keep an eye on the channel. I may have some other announcements coming up soon, including I might potentially be hosting a tournament on my channel. That focuses on highlighting more diverse playstyles and builds. It's not just going to be a Spare Rations, Mindbenders tourney like you're used to seeing, because I'm not gonna lie to you, those guys are super talented, but that's boring for me to watch. Every match just ends up looking the same weapons, same builds, and I want to highlight some other ways to play Destiny. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to be hosting a tournament, and we'll let people know how to sign up, when to sign up. And we'll get sponsors lined up for prize pools and whatnot as well. So stay tuned for that information. Thanks for watching the video, and I hope to catch you in the Crucible.